Hey everyone, this is Arlene. In today's video tutorial, I will be showing you how I created this scrapbook page using Graphic 45's Secret Garden paper collection. So let's go ahead and get started. First up is select a picture and grab your Secret Garden paper pad. Here I'm selecting a few sheets that I'll be using as the background of my scrapbook page. It's a good idea to back your page with medium weight chipboard, especially if you'll be using a lot of heavy embellishments like metal or dimensional embellishments like flowers and whatnot. It's also good to back your layouts with chipboard when you store them in shadow boxes and plastic envelopes. Here I'm just cutting the spine off the 12 by 12 page that I'll be using as the background of my layout. I like to use score tape at least on the page that's going directly to the chipboard. I intend to have heavy embellishments on this page, so score tape is always a good idea as it holds very, very well. I'm using my ATG to fill in the spots where I don't have score tape. I'm taking out my glass cutting mat here, and I will be trimming along the border of the Leafy Treetops paper. And I'm going to be using just the frame of this page. So I'm using my craft knife and my glass cutting mat to cut the frame out. I'm distressing all the papers on the scrapbook page using Ranger's Distress Ink in Vintage Photo. I'm adding several layers to the scrapbook page. This is one of the many layers that I'll be adding. I don't have a specific measurement for each of my layers. I just like to make sure that maybe 1/2 inch to maybe 3/4 of an inch at most of each sheet shows. I keep all of my leftover paper scraps by collection in these plastic bags, and I love how you can see right through it so you can see what you got. And here I'm just taking out some random scraps that I had from a previous project, or previous projects I should say, and I'm going to be incorporating some of these onto my scrapbook page. Also included are some chipboard pieces from Secret Garden's chipboards 1 and 2. I found these gorgeous white 7-inch doilies on Etsy. I'm going to incorporate one of them onto the layout, as well as some small 5-inch doilies. Just a tip when you're doing lots of layering with doilies, cut them in half so you can maximize your use of them if they're just going to be peeking out of certain places. So now I'm just arranging things on my scrapbook page so I know where I want the different elements to go. Once I have an idea of the placement of the different elements, I'll start adhering things down. I'm using different flowers on this scrapbook page, including I Am Roses and Recollections. I'm using my Lindy Stamp Gang sprays on the white flowers so I can coordinate the color along with the scrapbook page, and the Cape Cod Coral and Saltwater Taffy match perfectly with the Secret Garden papers. I'm using Seagrass Green to color up some of the rosebuds. Now it's time to pull everything together and start working on all the details. Here I'm using my Prima Distress tool to distress the edge of my photo. I decided to use these hand crocheted doilies that I found on Etsy to add a softer feel to the layout. I found this nice lace at Hobby Lobby. I'm going to add a couple of layers to the bottom of my layout. The lace was pretty wide, so I decided to use some score tape to hold it down, and it worked very, very well. I found this cute little iron gate in my stash. It's by Prima. I decided to add half of the gate onto my scrapbook page, and I'm going to layer a crochet doily over it on the corner of the photo. Here I'm just trying to figure out where I'm going to position my other embellishments. I have a bird by Prima, and I also have my staples by Graphic 45. I have a metal clothespin. I have a ornate metal keyhole, and I also have an ornate key. So I'll be incorporating all of those onto the page. I want to keep the page soft, although I'll be adding some metal embellishments to it. So I'm painting the metal embellishments with some white acrylic paint. And then once that dries, I will be touching over it lightly with some antique gold rub and buff. And that'll give it that antique vintage look without making it so powerful in terms of the pewter or the gold color. So that's the end of my video tutorial, but here are some photos of my finished scrapbook page. Thank you for joining me for today's video tutorial. For more information, as well as a product list for this project, please visit my blog or the Graphic 45 blog, and both links will be included in the video description. Thanks for watching.